I'd like to welcome everybody to the Secure Society podcast. This is episode 1, and we have no idea what we're doing, so have a little bit of
Woo! TSS, baby.
yeah, forgive us a little bit, especially since you have to see our faces. It's a little rough, but even listening to us is going to be a little rough for the first time. We don't have any special intro or anything like that. Maybe down the road we will, but I doubt even our mothers are watching this, so it doesn't really matter. We're just kind of starting and going and kind of just getting it going. So what our first episode is really going to focus on is right now we have just seen the ATF has a new ban. I don't even know if you can call it a bill. I don't know what you really could call it because it's not really anything,
It's a
but we're
rule.
supposed to all follow it. Yeah, it's a rule, but we're supposed to follow it. But I can't call it a bill. I can't call it really anything because that infers that actually went through the proper channels. And that's really what we're going to talk about.
Well,
So
let's
episode
just
one,
let's
go
just
ahead.
lay grounding too. We have no idea what we're talking about. We're just trying to
Yeah.
discuss, how are we affected with this,
Yeah. So
and
none of us are
you guys
lawyers.
don't even know who we are, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And we should get into that. But just so you guys know, as we go into this, none of us are lawyers. None of us have any idea what we're talking about. We're just discussing as three normal dudes who are just trying to follow the information.
frankly, you
So,
probably shouldn't even listen to us.
yeah, that's a great way to start out the podcast is just let everyone know that we're idiots and you shouldn't listen to us. So if you're still here and you're still listening, that's what episode 1 is about, is a question of rights looking at the ATF's new unconstitutional ruling. So let's start, though, with introductions, kind of who we are, what the Secure Society is, what we're trying to do and accomplish. So a little while ago, I'd say a few months ago, Austin came to us. Well, he had just had a surgery and he kind of discussed an idea with us. And Austin, I'll let you go ahead and kind of turn over what you were thinking.
Yeah, so I had a lot of time to think in recovery, right? So I I figure I like to learn things and I need to be better at sharing what I learn. So this is really a platform for us to share what we're learning in a lot of different categories. So firearms being one of them, which is today's topic. Um, Emergency preparedness is a big topic I'm passionate about. You guys have brought up homesteading a few times, which is also an interest I think we all share. Uh, any others? Any other big ones? There's a bunch we want to go over.
There's a bunch, but
I think even just getting together, like coming together as like a community, like
yeah,
we can't do this all alone. We wanted to find like-minded guys, people, who is just want to be self-sufficient and real,
Yeah, I think
work as a community.
self-reliance is really the underlying tone
Yeah,
of what we're getting at.
yeah. I mean,
self-reliance together, like
exactly. And that's the thing, Austin, is I mean, what do you do for a job?
I work in SaaS, so software as a service.
Yeah. I mean, you are on computers all day. You're programming. You're not, it's
he's
not like
sassy.
you run like a wilderness retreat and you've got 50 years of experience. I mean, there's something stupid like that. I mean, that's great that there
Sounds
are
awesome to
people.
me.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'd love to do that,
Yes.
but that's the thing, is like, that's great that there's people like that. Like there's people like I mean, the famous one that comes to mind is Thunder Ranch. They do a great job of training and teaching people a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things like that. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube video or YouTube channels that's I mean, they're ex-military and they know all this stuff, and there's a place for that. And that we're not trying to
And
to
we
to
are
be
not we
them.
are not that. We are
No.
not military. We are not. We're just a bunch of dads trying to raise families and just trying to get training and have that freedom of you know of
Yeah.
life, like being able to control our own situations.
That's perfect, Tylen. That's exactly right. Because really, I mean, when I for a long time, I've thought that, I mean, I hate to say it, but the Boy Scouts of America isn't really a thing anymore. I mean, it is, but kind of isn't. And there's this void in modern society, in my opinion, where people are just like, well, I mean, I'm just not going to think about any of this stuff: self sufficiency, firearms training, shooting, being like having a farm, even small things, emergency preparedness or anything like that. I mean, all the little things that, like, if you ever were part of the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, you get merit badges once you've learned something. And when I think of this, I think of, okay, what about the guy who he grew up doing some of this stuff, or the woman who's done the same thing, right? Maybe they went out camping with their dad or fishing or something like that, and they knew a little bit, but now they're rusty, right? Just like us, we're rusty, and this is kind of our opportunity to learn again. And so everything that we do with the Secure Society is made to be inclusive. We all start at the beginning, and some of us are a little bit further ahead, but bring other people up. Don't try to go, well, I know something more than you do. Who cares, right? I can learn more about something from you, Tylen, and you can learn something more from me, and everybody should be edified and lifted up.
Maybe.
And
Who knows?
I may not know anything, right? Let's be
the
honest.
point is we all have our different strengths.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
we want to leverage those strengths, and then
we're all learning together, and we all work
Exactly.
together and thrive together. This
Mhm.
this is a community. This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
society.
So anyway, yeah, let's talk about it a little too, Tylen. What do you do for work? What tell us a little bit about yourself too.
Uh, just trying to actually get out on my own, work at manufacturing, and currently co-owning Ghost Gear. We focus on a little shameless plug there. Uh, Upgradable 3D printer parts. We want to offer an affordable solution for 3D printing, and I think manufacturing as an individual, or micro manufacturing is what we want to focus on, so that the individual can produce their own stuff. It's just self-reliance. You don't want to have to rely on an expensive company or somebody else to manufacture parts that you need. Take control of what you need, and we want to offer that to you. So I wanted to join with the Secure Society and help this community thrive by offering solutions to expensive and difficult problems. I'm very cheap, and I want to solve problems
Yes,
on
you
my
are.
own, and I cannot do certain things without needing some help, which is fine.
Mhm.
And so I want to offer that help to others.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a fantastic thing. And you bring up a good point, Tylen, because this is not just like we're preppers, right? Like, this isn't just saying, oh well, we want to build a doomsday bunker and hide out from the world. That's not the point. But the point
I mean, I
is
would
that,
love to do a doomsday
I
bunker.
mean,
That
I'm
would
not
be
going to
Same.
say no, but
that would be fun.
it would be fun.
One day,
Yeah, absolutely. But we're
We'll
not
work up to that.
yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah, you'll see articles later on. But it's more about, okay, living in a normal life and having a normal everyday 9 to 5. You're not just some dude that lives out in the desert in an RV, and you're just wearing your tinfoil hat waiting for the government
drinking
to.
recycled
Yeah.
pee and
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, that's not what we're doing here. It's for the guy
not
who
very
lives.
practical.
It's for the guy
We're
who
all
lives in
about
a
practicality.
townhouse or a home in the suburbs, and he's trying to just do his best and be more self-sufficient, because I think that's something that all of us want to be. It's something that we can all improve on. I mean, who doesn't want to be more self-sufficient, right? And I think that you bring that up perfectly, because you don't live somewhere where you do live in the desert, but you don't live out in the middle of nowhere and have like 3,000 acres of land to till the farm. You're just a normal dude.
Yeah.
And same thing with me. Kind of when I think of the secure society, I kind of the same thing. And as I've expressed, my wife actually, she in high school, for a summer job, would work at Boy Scouts of America, and watching everything with the scout program just turned so far away from what it originally was, being so focused on political issues and other things like that, instead of just teaching kids. It just seemed like they were getting so far away from what the whole point was to be self-sufficient. And to see that, and she and I had lots of discussions before, Austin, Thailand, before we ever talked about, man, what are we going to do with our kids? How are they going to know these things? Are they going to be obsessed with this stupid little thing, and that's all that they know, or playing video games and watching TV? Is that what they're going to learn? And what happens if the power goes out?
Yeah.
And hopefully that never happens. But if it does, I want my kids to know how to start a fire. I mean, how simple is that, right? So, yeah. I mean, is there anything else you guys want to add to that?
No, I think and as this community grows, I hope that we can get some feedback on what everybody wants to see more of. And if you check out the Secure Society website, securesociety.com, you'll be able to find some really good topics on there right now. And we're pumping up our YouTube and social medias. They're taking off. So let's get some feedback, and we'd happily cover anything that anybody wants to hear. We want to support you guys.
Mm-hmm. This is all about you guys. It's not just us necessarily. It's about all of us growing and becoming more. And so really, seriously, like Tylen said, anything that anybody brings up that is going to bring people up and lift them up and teach them things, we want to discuss, we want to bring up. I will say, first and foremost, if there's any negativity or just trying to poo-poo on stuff, that I'm just going to ignore you. I think we all will, because that's not the point. The point is correcting bad behavior or improving on the behaviors and the education that we have. And we really want it to be a good community of people that are like-minded, that just want to help each other.
We want to have fun. We want to learn. And I think this is a place to do it. What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, I think as kind of founders of this society, we need to foster an environment of learning and sharing, and not that of putting people down or shaming, that sort of thing that you commonly see on other platforms.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it happens a lot, especially I watch a lot of firearm YouTube, and you'll look at the comment sections, and it's a fire, a dumpster fire, and it's just people crapping on each other's opinions. And you know what? Their opinions, I don't care about that. But tell me what's important. Tell me why. And that should be that's what we're looking for. I don't want to hear why you like Glock and why Glock's the only thing that matters. And if you have anything else, you're an idiot.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Right. And this is somebody who has a Glock.
And we support, Glock lovers are welcome. It's just,
absolutely.
It's just like, explain why you feel like Glock is the best. Don't have such a poor opinion of well, Glock is the best because I said so. Back up your claim. I want to learn. I honestly believe everybody has something to learn, and that's what we're all here to take from. So, not to be so serious, but I think this is a good opportunity for everybody to come together. We
Yeah.
want everybody to bring their Glocks and their SIGs and just go out shooting. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I don't know how many people watched Granthum's video. At one point, everybody's pistol or rifle fails. I don't think any of them pass all the tests. So they all suck, right? If you want to find evidence of them all sucking, they all suck, right? But really, all of the firearms you use, they are fantastic firearms. Uh, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, let's not focus on the negativity. Uh, let's focus on the positivity. Hey, you like a certain firearm? That's great. Or say somebody gets, somebody only swears by Coleman camping equipment. Well, that's great. But then also don't feel bad if somebody gets REI, like whatever.
And I think too, we will do gear reviews and we'll do product reviews and handgun reviews, all sorts of reviews because we want to be as objective as possible and
Yeah.
a good source of true information. We will never compromise reviews for pay, and we'll never compromise our integrity because we want to find what works best for anybody. I, being cheap, am okay with buying something a little more affordable, but not necessarily the best because I am cheap.
Well, look at it this way, right? If you can afford it, it's better than having nothing at all and waiting forever to earn it. I mean, yes, in some ways you got to pay some money to get quality. I totally get that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't grab a high point and think that you're going to be operating the same way as other people. I mean, hey, it's better than nothing, right? But there's a certain level, and you know what? Don't crud on the person who has a Taurus just because you have a $1,300 Kimbra. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what we're getting at is
Yep.
everyone has a different view, and all views are welcome as long as it doesn't actually affect or hurt someone.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
All right.
so let's move along a little bit since we are kind of focusing a lot on this first episode on firearms. I kind of want to just get a little bit of information and kind of just open it up a little bit to a conversation and not just be so heavy-handed and talk to you guys about guns and firearms, and that way our audience can get to know you guys a little bit more too. So first and foremost, and I'm going to open this up to Austin first, and then Tylen, you can go, and I'll go last. What is the best firearm that you've ever shot? And that can be whatever you want it to mean.
I think it's always going to be the last one I shot. Honestly, like that's the joy of it is it goes bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know if I
real.
have a favorite. I will say that I am partial to Smith and Wesson
Mm-hmm.
and probably Sig. Like I feel like there's a bunch of brands that have decent quality um, that I'm willing to shoot with and that I can rely on and trust.
Yeah. I like that. And so when you say Smith and Wesson, is that the first gun when you're at the range? Say you got all your guns in front of you. Is that the first one you're going to pull out as your Smith and Wesson?
In terms of handguns, yes. Yeah, very likely.
Nice. And what about you, Tylen? Oh, and he's sneezing. Sorry. Bad timing.
I
This
would
is as
say
real as it gets.
my
Sorry.
my piece together AR, man. I love that gun so much. It's just a hodgepodge of all different parts that I found on bargains, and it's that middle of the road gun. It's not Gucci, but it ain't nothing to snuff about either. It fits exactly what I needed to. It took me, a little better over 6 months to put together and get all the pieces for it. But man, that thing rocks. Freaking love it.
It does. I mean, I was impressed when I shot it. It's
Love it.
clean. It's smooth. Yeah.
I love
Uh,
piecing it together and see my kit just come together, and that's what I love. Like,
That's awesome. For me, I it's gonna be a tough, almost tie. I would say my Sig tread AR. It's it's the Predator edition. I love that thing. It's really cool. Got a Cerakote, green Cerakote. It's just really kind of different and unique for an AR because so many ARs are just kind of the plain old black. And I really like that. It's just this kind of different look. But I would say for me, the one that I'm
And it's
always gonna,
evolved. That gun has
yeah,
evolved too,
it really has. Yeah,
quite nicely.
you guys have helped me kind of evolve it too. Because I didn't know what I was doing at all when I first got it.
Yeah,
Um,
I think sometimes people get locked into like, oh, this is how my gun needs to be. But
yeah.
you take some opinions from other people, and man,
Oh,
people get
I
some
mean,
sweet guns.
if the world ended tomorrow, that's the gun that I'm slinging on my back because it's a dual rifle now,
Yeah.
which is great. And I think a lot of people kind of want that in AR, and I appreciate that. I would say though, for me, my favorite just to shoot and have fun with, especially doing drills, would be my Scorpion. I really have a lot of fun with that. I mean, it's just it's a 9mm carbine. It's nothing. It is my home defense pistol, I guess you would call it. Uh
That's speaking about that.
yeah, speaking
Hmm.
about that, but we'll get into that. But I just like it because it's just fun to shoot. It's a tack driver. It's light. It's just easy, and it's just kind of fun to sling it around and just kind of feel a little bit like you're an operator, even though you're a
Yeah.
slob of a 30-year-old just out
Yeah,
on the
that is a
range.
fun gun
Yeah.
to shoot.
Okay, so here's a more interesting question, and I'm going to start again with you, Austin. What is the worst firearm you've ever shot?
That Ruger Max 9.
Yeah, that review's coming. That review's coming.
uh
Dang.
Honestly, yeah, that's probably it. I don't know if I've shot enough other guns to pick something else.
I get
Yeah, I
you.
don't. I get that. I don't buy. I try not to buy crappy guns just because I don't want to compromise safety.
Right,
Oh,
right.
same. But I mean, have you ever taken somebody else's gun out to the range and went, yeah, you can have it back. Thanks. I just want to
I
shoot it once. And you're going, oh, I hate that thing.
I will say my buddy's uh 22 LR conversion for the AR, that was a nightmare to shoot.
Why
That
is that?
with that special carry bolt carrier group, the new you have to like swap it out to take
Mm,
the 22 rounds, and then it's got a special adapted magazine. And but you just look at this thing and it looks like it's been through the ringer. Like it's like
Well, when you put it
galvanized.
that way, I'm gonna change my answer to my AR because it's kind of a piece of crap right now.
yeah, we got to get that thing fixed
See,
before we do
that's
the
a
training.
that's a brave man to admit that. There
Yeah.
we go.
It is what it is. I'll own
Yeah,
it.
hey, that's what happens. Yeah, I shot this thing and it was sketchy because it had a sight mark red dot, which was odd. It had like
Uh,
no paint on the lower, and then like everything was like peeling off of it. So that was sketchy.
Hmm.
I ran maybe 10 rounds to it. I was like, I'm done. This thing's no bueno.
yeah. I'm glad that you didn't say anything that I own because there's a how much we've shot.
Is that
There's a high
CZ
possibility.
Sagan's?
That's Scorpion, you know.
No, it's probably your Glock.
Yeah, the one he bought from me.
Yeah, the one I bought. I'm like, yeah,
There you go.
I threw that thing away a long time ago.
He bought it so he could throw it away for
Yeah,
you.
exactly. He's like, here,
It's,
let me just drop it off for you.
it's like a Gen 1 Glock, like blowing up in your hand.
You just Hunter Biden did. You just dropped it off near a school in a trash can,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Yikes.
Oops, I mean allegedly, right? I would say for me, the worst firearm I've ever shot, and this is gonna make me sound like a wuss. So Hopefully it comes off as me being honest and brave and not just a baby. But the first, so we went shooting with some friends, and one of my friends brought out a 357 mag revolver, right? And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against recoil. I've shot a lot of different guns, a lot of different ones with heavy recoils. I mean, I've got a Mosin a gun, and that thing just kicks you like a mule no matter what you do. Really, like, yes, you can get it right perfectly into your shoulder, but it still hurts. You can attest to that, Tyler, because you have one
Gotta love
too.
the Mosey.
I mean, and I love that gun. It's one of my favorites to shoot just because it kicks.
$100 Mosey is best.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
good old
Back
days.
in the good days, right? But so I take this 357, and again, this is, I mean, Austin, last time we went shooting with your buddies. What was it, a 40-40? What was it?
4570 government.
4570, yeah. So I mean, that thing kicked like a mule, and that was fun. So don't get me wrong, but this 357, I don't know if it was just a cheap piece of crap. I don't know what it was going on with it. And I can't even remember this. It was like 10 years ago. But I remember shooting it, and it hurt my wrists. I mean, like, it was just like,
I was gonna say it's probably user error, right?
Probably, right? But that's what I mean, is being honest about it. But like, honestly, I just thought in my head, one, I mean, the thing just is just too much, right? It's like to think of using that in any type of defensive situation, it's useless. I mean, it's pointless unless the person's close enough that if you just aim and hope that you hit him in one shot, because that follow-up shot, it's going to be like, oh, okay, and bring it back in. There we go, right? I mean, it's just,
yeah.
Oh, it was like, it's the gun it's okay when you see somebody with a big old lifted F350 that's rolling smoke, and you just go, oh, somebody's compensating for something. That's the epitome of that in a gun. It's the dude who went, give me the biggest gun you got, and I just want to shoot it. Oh man, yeah, I'm a man. I mean, it's just stupid.
Hey, I take offense to that. Okay.
I mean, if you need to compensate for something, you go right ahead and buy that gun. But it just was, it felt like shooting. It was just like it was hurting me to just hurt me. It was just stupid. It was not accurate. Follow-up shots were atrocious. The ammo is expensive. The thing's heavier than sin, and it's not. I mean, I'm sure there's 357 mags that are great, but that one was just garbage.
Now, what is the application for that though? Like, what are we talking about? What kind of damage are we talking about here?
I don't know. That's the thing, is like, I don't know where that fits in. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to carry that. It's heavy as sin. Why would you carry that as an everyday carry? You're not. And on top of that, you miss the first time, your follow-up shot's going to be a pain to get back in line. Is it for hunting? No, because if you're going to use something that big, use a freaking rifle and actually hit something. So I don't know, besides the fact of just, okay, I'm compensating. That's it.
Yeah.
I want to make a big boom on the range.
I mean, who doesn't?
I mean, yeah. That's why I got the Mosin, right?
Next time, just go out with your double wrist guards, and just lock in at that bad boy.
Brace.
Yeah, no, I've got a brace on it. That's what the pistol brace is for, right? Yeah. And then I've got the bean bag down. I'm laying down. Yeah, I got the whole setup, right? And maybe I'll hit something at 10 yards. Okay, so
cue the YouTube video where the guy almost shoots himself in the head on a double bag.
Yeah, I mean, it just was something stupid like that. And I felt like, okay, this is silly. Anyway, so here's more of an important question, Austin. I'm going to start with you. What, in your opinion, is the best firearm manufacturer out there currently?
I'm going to refer to my earlier statement that I think there's multiple good manufacturers.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I'm going to pick, I'd probably pick between Smith & Wesson and Sig Sauer.
Simp. Hey, if you like what you like, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think Smith & Wesson's doing a lot of really good things right now. Not in what they're making necessarily, but in how they're. Don't take that the wrong way.
No, they make good guns. Honestly, they're
But
for the
in how
most
they're
part they're doing
marketing,
good. Yeah,
they've had a campaign going for the last like 2 months of here's $100 rebate if you buy a firearm from us. Like
Well, and
they just want to get guns in the hands of as many people as they possibly
didn't they
can, right?
drop the price of like their lowest cost gun, and they're taking like
Yeah,
a
I think they
negative on
did.
it.
And if I remember right, they're still allowing the rebate on that too. So,
they are.
Oh,
Yeah, it's they're
wow.
still doing that.
so I think they're doing good things for the gun community right now.
Yeah, that's
That's
incredible.
that's
That's the
fantastic.
best
Yeah.
way.
Okay, now Tylen, what's your option? Same
I
question.
mean, it depends. It's like if you're talking ARs, like for the best bang for your buck, I'm thinking a hybrid of BCM and Arrow. Like those guys, are phenomenal. If you're talking handguns, I mean, yeah, like your SIGs are killing it. Uh,
It's okay.
Glock,
You can say Glock. Yeah,
it it's like everybody's doing good. It's hard to like really pull a differentiating. Like here's the best. And honestly, I'm so broke that I would like any of them. But once you hit that level, it's like, well, now you're just getting to the nitty gritty. I'm your average shooter, so a gun's a gun. Excluding certain brands.
yeah, I get that. Um, I think I've thought about this a lot over the last week as we've talked a little bit about this together, and mine might be a controversial pick, but YOLO, right? Whatever. I would say Palmetto State. Honestly, I am shocked by. I mean,
PSA, baby.
their whole shtick is we're going to make as many freaking ARs, as many AKs, as many
Yeah,
pistols, and we're going to sell them for cheap because
yeah,
every single man, woman, and child, well, maybe not every child, but everyone who is responsible should have a firearm. They believe in the Second Amendment. I mean, it's on the front of their page, and
yeah.
and you can say that's a marketing gimmick, and for a lot of gun related manufacturers, it totally is. I mean, it's totally just a shtick. Oh yeah, we're Second Amendment, man. We bleed red. With red, white, and blue. I do think that actually Palmetto State means it. They've worked so hard to. I mean, a lot of people go, yeah, but their AKs are dog crap. I'm sorry, I've got a GF5. It's the best American made AK
Well,
out
look
there
at
right
look
now.
at what they're doing now. Like, they buy out Remington's
Yeah.
ammunition plants. They
and
just
and
bought
now they're
out.
selling brass case ammunition for super cheap. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
shocked, and from everything that sounds like it's good quality. Like
Oh yeah.
they're really like, yeah, they've had hiccups in the past, and anything new that they make, just like any other manufacturer, you should be wary of until you see reviews on. But they're doing a good job. I mean, I just saw recently they on one of their little promos, you can get two dagger lowers, a full size and a compact, for $180. You could have
Gosh,
two full pistols, two Glock clones for, when it's all said and done, maybe what, $400, right?
not unless you print it.
And if you print it, then you're at
That's what I'm waiting
179
for.
and some resin, baby. Like, I mean, that's unbelievable, right? And that to me means a lot. I mean, they had the Oregon brace, or not brace ban, the Oregon magazine ban, and I think they're still doing it where they're like, okay, until that goes into effect, if you order our mags, they're on sale right now for super cheap because we want you to get them. And if you live in Oregon, you get it first pick. We're shipping it out, expediting it to you. We're making sure you get everything first. And I'm mad respect for that. They're actually fighting the good fight.
Yeah. PSA.
Yep. Simp. All right. So now comes the last question I'm going to ask you guys before we roll into the meat and potatoes. So and this is going to be a spicy one. This might get everybody mad at us before we even start. What, in your opinion, is the worst firearm manufacturer out there currently? And go ahead, Austin.
Oh boy.
This is all opinion. All
Well,
opinion.
in my opinion, I know I'm wrong to a lot of people, but I'm going to say Glock. And that's because it goes against my core
Just kidding.
value when shopping for a gun that doesn't fit my hand.
Sounds like somebody who's broke. All right. Not
No,
enough money.
honestly, Austin makes a good point. If you are not somebody where a Glock fits your hand, you know what Glock's response is to that?
Don't
F
buy it.
you. Like, I mean, like, I don't care. Like, what they are not known for being like, hey, I'm gonna make new options. They're like, hey, we made a Glock 76 and it shoots 5.7 and it doesn't make any sense. And oh yeah, it's the same thing as the Gen 5 Glock 19. Just there's
Also,
nothing new.
it is like
If it
the
ain't
biggest bandwagon gun manufacturer I've
sure.
ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, boys.
Someone should
No, I
fix
get it.
it.
I get it.
No,
Uh,
I you know,
But
and most of the
I
time
said it.
the people are modifying the crap out of them, so it's almost like Glock just planned you to do that anyway. So why do
yeah.
they care? You know?
And that's what they're doing is they're expecting the aftermarket to take care of
Yeah.
their lack of uh, catering to the community.
And that's not a
And
bad thing,
design.
but it is a very basic platform that,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, is overpriced,
Yeah.
and that's why they get copycat all the time. Like, look at the dagger; it's a great gun,
Yep.
just
Yeah.
It's
a clone.
I mean, look at Sig makes their own clone, CZ makes their own clone, Smith and Wesson makes their own clone, Ruger. I mean, everybody makes a Glock clone. Now, to give them credit, they revolutionized the firearm industry. I mean, even in I mean,
Sure,
in ways that have hasn't been done since John Moses Browning. I mean, you have to give him credit for that. And
got to give them props for
if
sure.
you want, if you're if I mean, I even had my brother-in-law asking me what gun should I get, and both me and my other brother-in-law both looked at each other and went Glock because he doesn't know anything, right? And if
Yeah,
you want something that's simple,
pretty
you
foolproof.
know it's going to work. He's using it for self-defense. I'm not going to just guess on something. I know that a Glock's going to work. Um, so I get that, and he's not going to go out and do a ton to it. He's going to shoot it, and no red dots, no laser sights, no flashlights. He's probably just going to do the average Joe consumer, and a Glock's great for that. But Austin, you're right that innovation is the farthest thing from what they are now.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
Look at a lot of companies that suffer from that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my least favorite gun company right now, and for multiple reasons, but one that just really chaps my hide is Geisley. Those
Yeah.
guys, like when the CEO just comes out and goes against the 2A, and it just it just shows where their support is, and they don't care about you; they care about your money, and that's why they charge so much.
Yeah.
I you know I get it. You may think in your mind that it's better because it costs more. It's just a game that they play with you. Like
Yeah.
like break it down. What what fancy stuff do you do? Like you have your other groups that do just as good. You know,
Yeah.
like
That's a good point.
I don't know. I can't stand their whole model and the lack of support. And it's funny how you know they just they claim to be that Gucci gun, but it's just a name.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm just too pleb to get it. I don't know, but I I've shot Geisley before. And I went, I mean, it's nice.
I feel like Kimber falls into that Gucci gun
Yeah.
category too.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain Gucci guns that, I mean, I can get it, right? Like I'm not going to get it personally because I'm poor, but I
Yeah.
get it. Like a staccato. Like, I mean, a staccato, I'm sorry, if you want the best of the best and you want to right out of the box to be the best of the best, and you're talking to 2011 staccato, boom, there you go, right? I mean, like a Lago Alien, those, I mean, those things are wild. And there's certain things, but I would also say, like, maybe I'm a shill for SIG, but I'm sorry, if I'm going to pay that much, am I going to get a Geisley or a SIG? And I think anybody with half a brain's going to go probably SIG. I mean, SIG, it's expensive, but I feel like I'm getting something out of it. And you might be able to even justify some other companies too. But I don't see anything from Geisley that makes me go, that's where it's at. I just, and especially like you said, Tyler, being anti 2A, you know what? Why are you even in the business? Go
Exactly.
make whatever shower heads then. Go make car parts. Why are you here if you're not going to be a part of the fight?
It's all about the money.
That's all it is. Really, it is.
All right, let's hear you. Let's hear you talk bad about the Glocks, buddy. Come on.
I mean, again, I have a Glock 43X, and when I'm going on a Costco run, that one's the easiest to carry. It's super slim and it works great, and it does fit my hand. I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm not. That one is not super special to me. It's a tool, and it's a good tool. But yeah, that's what it is to me. I would say, and this is going to be spicy, and it's going to make me, yeah, between me saying PSA and this, everyone's going to think I'm a poor, but probably you guys know that I'm the one that spends more on name brand firearms than anybody else. So
you
just
have
saying,
more guns than both of us.
yeah, I know. I'm. It's an addiction of mine, and my wife is a saint for sticking with me. I would say HK or FN. Probably more HK though.
What's your reasoning on the HK?
Really?
And here's my reasoning is that
that was surprising.
I know, and it's
I
a
was
little bit of
surprised.
what you're talking about too, Tylen. They essentially, to the American market and for the civilian American market, they just kind of put a middle finger to them. They say, yeah, we'll sell you some of them, we'll sell you something, but we really don't care about you. Like they'll make,
truly don't care.
they really don't.
Right.
Like they're about the military contracts that they get, and that's great. But you've got to understand that HK is a European company. I know there's other companies that are European, like CZ, right? And other ones like that they're Glock even, that go, hey, look, we may be from Europe, but we respect that Americans have the 2A, and great, you know what, business opportunity. We're not going to crap on that, you know. And I will even say for CZ, I mean, the Czech people pretty much have their own constitution, which allows them self-defense and firearms. Like they're all for it, right? But with HK, they've made comments saying that they don't like the fact that Americans and civilians can just shoot their guns, and so they aren't interested in really helping us out. I mean, that's why, I mean, a lot of the times when you see, like, people get super excited, oh, they're finally doing the G36, you know, I can't wait to shoot that, and then it comes out and it's this bastardized version that you go, ew,
What's going on here?
yeah. And I know that's part of the import laws, but I'm sorry, every other company then will have a location in the United States because they're going to focus on making stuff for the civilian market. And they know it's a big business, but they also support it. And HK's like, it's an afterthought. I don't care about you. Screw you, you plebe. I don't care about you.
Yeah,
I'm more focused on making sure that I can make sure that we're warlords, and we can supply both sides of a conflict in Ukraine and Russia, and make sure they both, get our guns and shoot each other to death because money. But oh, you guys, the civilians, I don't want you guys to have them. That's morally reprehensible. I mean, it's just so backwards and dumb, and that ticks me off.
It's un-American.
Well, and yeah, they can be un-American, but that I don't find that. It doesn't mean that I want to buy their product, especially when it's way overpriced. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm not okay. I can buy a fantastic military grade, like let's say like a Galil Ace, right? Spend $1,500 or Tavor or whatever. There's a ton of different ones, or you can spend $3,000 on this ugly knockoff version of an HK product and just terrible, and you're not getting anything for it. It's kind of like Geisley. What do I get out of it besides, oh, now I play Call of Duty, so now I get to have a G36 at home. That's it.
Yeah, tweet. Yeah,
I got my MP5, guys. That's it. So anyway, that's a little spicy. We've now upset everyone, which is the best way to start it all out. Who cares? I mean, the fact of the matter is everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone's going to have their own reasons.
We're idiots, if you want to prove to us that there's, hey, let's hear it. I want to hear it.
And don't get me wrong, like if somebody pulls up next to me at the range and offers to let me shoot their HK, I'm gladly going to do it.
Like if the CEO of HK was come out and say, you know what, dude, shut your mouth and shoot this gun.
Yeah, if
he's going to do it.
If Gaston Glock came over and said, Austin, I want you to be my fifth wife, you would do it.
I'd try it.
Yeah, I mean that's money.
Shot.
That's exactly. That's Glock money, baby. Yeah, there's nothing better than that. So all right, this is really the meat and potatoes, and this may not be super long, but we kind of really wanted to discuss this. So if anybody hasn't been caught up on this, so the ATF recently deemed every pistol brace on a pistol, which, if you don't know what that means, is anything with a barrel shorter than 16 inches, right? Is deemed a SBR, a short barreled rifle, which is stupid. If it doesn't have a stock on it, then it's a pistol.
Yeah.
But if it has a stock,
everybody knows and hates ATF, but it didn't just stop there with the braces. I think everybody needs to understand that there's so much more into this.
Yeah, I mean, the more and more you look into it, the more and more like, as I'm reading through this and kind of saying this, you got to understand this is all stuff that they've made decisions on. That's just,
yes.
Okay, I decided this one day. Okay, I decided this one day, and now you all have to follow it. And it's just, it's silly. It's okay now. So that's what they're kind of doing with this is now they're saying, okay, you can't have a pistol brace. Which, if anybody knows, a pistol brace is made to brace that pistol with, and they're like, well, now we hate them. And so what you have to do is, if you don't take it off in the next, I think it's the end of May. Yeah, if by the end of the May, if you haven't taken it off of your pistol, and they catch you with it, it's this ridiculous fine. Straight to jail. It's stupid, and they can fine you a ton. You have to destroy it, all this stupid stuff, and it doesn't matter if you own one before. Like I had one when it was legal.
Look at this criminal, everybody.
Exactly. Now I'm a criminal, and by the end of May, unless I take that thing off, I'm a criminal automatically. And what law is that? I've never heard of a law where all of a sudden,
it's not a law, right?
Yeah,
like they don't make laws; Congress does.
Yeah, and that's really the point I'm trying to say here is that, so the ATF was trying to make this seem not so bad, and they said, hey, look, we get it, we totally understand. In fact, for a while, we're going to have a grace period, and you can just get we're not going to charge you $200 for a tax stamp. You just fill the paperwork out and you can just have an SBR.
Register your gun.
Register your gun, right? No big deal. But a lot of
name, birthday, social security, picture, They want
Yeah,
it all.
all of
Fingerprints,
it.
everything.
And that's what a lot of people were saying. I didn't personally do it. I want to see what if they get struck down in court, because this is illegal, before I do anything. But a lot of people on Reddit who were started to go through the process said this is way more than what they used to ask for. It felt like putting themselves on a list for down the road, and it was essentially saying you're an enemy of the people. You've got to prove to us why you're not, and we're still going to be watching you for the rest of your life to make sure you don't ever turn into an enemy of the people, right?
I
And
mean, we
that's
all know
insane.
what happened in Washington when
Mm-hmm.
the firearms registry got leaked by a newspaper. They doxed all of those addresses in the newspaper,
Yeah, in California,
and
right?
that-
Oh no, it was in
that's how
Washington
dangerous it
too.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Washington.
and
Itchy.
and you look back and you go, wait a second, you guys never were supposed to have this information. We were promised, the American people were promised, when I registered my firearm, you guys don't keep a record of it. Well, they lied, and they don't get in trouble. Why did they not get in trouble for breaking the actual laws? But then they can deem whenever they want to make up their own laws.
It's just a game. It's a game they can play and have control over us, and that's you know now that we realize that we need to find alternate ways to play you know our own version of it because they're going to keep doing this stuff. So
Yeah,
the
that
best
that
thing to
it
do
just
is
isn't going to stop, is it?
exactly. It's going to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
Right, Austin?
So before we get too deep into this, and hopefully I don't make this too political, but I think it's more
So
than just
we swapping hats for tinfoil hats right now?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone get their tinfoil hats on.
I don't think this is one of those moments, but I appreciate it. So I think this is more than just a Second Amendment issue, because if you read what they're doing, they're changing the definition of what a rifle is. And that's tying into a First Amendment issue, like freedom of speech. They're changing what definitions of words mean, just like uh, other groups are changing what the definitions of genders mean. Like
Yeah.
they're trying to control our speech and how we think and say and
It's a double
use these
speak.
terms. And yeah, it's here's our forked tongue, and they're not hiding it.
Yeah, that's what
1984,
concerns me, is
anybody?
that it's so brazen. It used to be that back in the 80s, 90s, that they would do some sneaky stuff. Like, I mean, even you can look at stuff like Ruby Ridge or Waco and go, our government did that, like looking back, but they found ways to get around it. And the average American would go, well, okay, but look, David Koresh was a nut job and there was no other option. And even though when you look at it, you realize that's a whole bunch of BS, the average person would kind of get convinced this stuff is not. This is more or less them just going, I'm sorry, why do I care what you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
It
think the
gets
issue is, sorry,
okay.
is not just Second Amendment, right? It's First Amendment and Second Amendment. They're changing the definition to fit their needs and what their agenda is.
Yeah. Well, and it's getting spun as, oh, this is just more gun control. No, not at all.
No,
This
it's
is this
both.
is
No.
this is
And
this is more than just gun control. This is right control.
yeah,
They are shutting down our rights.
the audience at home needs to understand the big difference. Like, take, for example, the ban on high capacity mags in Oregon. As much as I don't like it, as much as most people, especially in this community, don't like the idea of that, unfortunately, no matter what way you spin it, Oregon signed that as a bill and went through all three branches of their government. The people voted for it. At least they were convinced of it, right? And there can be a whole conversation about that. But at the end of the day, you can at least determine that as a law, right? Okay, that's their law. That's the law of Oregon. That's what they want to do. You know what? To each their own. I guess they can do that if the majority of people want that. But this, none of us voted on this. None of us decided this. They are just twisting the NFA to be whatever they want it to be. And it's so far removed from what it actually means that they're just making up stuff. It's just going, it's so open-ended. They just go, I don't know. We're going to ban puppies from it today. Okay, so you can just do that now? Like, I mean, that's literally how open-ended it is and how they're getting away with it. They're just going, well, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, it's crazy how, at the end of May, so many people are going to have problems. I kind of planned ahead when I was making my AR because I knew they're going to try to pull some crap, who knows.
And you know what? I try to do the same thing with my Scorpion because from conversations at the time, people were saying, you know what? The thing is you'll get they've never done anything where it wasn't retroactively, you were grandfathered in. And so I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'll just do that. And who knows? They you can't trust them for anything. And I think that's really the question we have to start asking when it comes to these three-letter agencies. Where do they get the right to do these kind of things? Where do they get the right to say these things and make up law? I mean, imagine how crazy it would be if the IRS one day just said, well, okay, it doesn't matter who you are. We've decided everyone owes us 80% of all of their taxes, or I mean, all of their income, because we said so, and the government needs money, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing here.
They come out with their armed agents. They're 30,000 armed agents.
87. 87.
87,000?
That's their new agents. 87,000 new agents.
Crap. Yeah. That's insane.
I mean, at this point, if the American people don't realize that we're just kind of cattle to them, we need to wake up. It's not that hard. It's not a conspiracy theory. We need to put them in their place a little bit. And I'm not, again, we're not talking violence. We're not talking, let's go through the legal channels and do this the right way.
Yeah.
But something has to happen.
Some would say that those legal channels are blocked, but we don't have to stand for it. We can go in together and just disagree and our power with our votes, and we have enough voice. We can make changes by being the change we want to be.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, all it takes is enough people saying no. At the end of the day, that's it.
Yep.
And
no violence, just standing, saying no.
Yeah, I mean,
disagree.
You got to understand that's. I mean, Martin Luther King Jr. did it the right way, and they just said no more. They protested, and the government at the time really hated it, because it was disrupting the status quo, taking away their power, but they didn't stop. And look at what the Civil Rights Act has done for minority groups. They didn't have to fire a single shot. And then look at an example, Ted Kaczynski, right? Just killed innocent people thinking he was going to change something. He did nothing but become a martyr. Sure, he was fighting corrupt government just the same, but he got nowhere with it and killed innocent people doing it. So violence is not the answer, but there needs to be a line in the sand.
And I think going back to the very beginning, this is why we wanted to build this society of coming together as a group, standing together as a group, and being self-sufficient from the government. We don't need it. We can function on our own. And that's the point of all this, is standing up on our own, standing up for what's right, what we believe for is right, and being a voice for change.
Absolutely.
Simple enough.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, if there's any way that anybody that's listening feels a call to action, they should do something about it, whether it's donating to the GOA, not
Donate
to us.
to us.
We can't do anything right now, but
we, we'll take your donations, guys.
we will definitely take the donations. But do something about it. Contact your local representative. Contact one of your local representatives. Do something about it. If at the very least all you're doing is just saying no, I'm not okay with this, and letting everyone know how messed up it is, and not letting it just get swept under the rug. Force the politicians to talk about it,
and be okay to educate others. Like, there's a lot of misinformed people out there.
Absolutely.
Help somebody get a gun. Help somebody shoot a gun. Show them how there is some training and some safety that needs to happen, but make people comfortable with the fact that they can defend their freedoms and their lives with firearms. They can take care of themselves instead of relying on a 911 call to come save your life, or oh, look at Katrina.
What's the old adage when help is immediate, the police are only 9 minutes away or something like that.
Yeah,
I know I butchered that, but it's the fact of the matter.
I mean, look at Flint, Michigan still has bad water, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good the government's covering and taking care of you.
And the reason why the reason why is because we just let them. We still vote for people who lie.
Yeah.
And we don't hold them accountable. That's why, like, personally, and I don't want to get political, but personally, I don't really care for any political group, because at the end of the day, tell me which one has done anything for us. And you can say, well, one did X or Y, but they all lie to our face.
Yes.
We should expect more. So, any other final thoughts you guys have on all this?
Like and subscribe. We need you to contribute. We need everybody to join together and build a community. This does not work without you. Like and subscribe.
Exactly.
Share with your friends. Share with everybody.
Start following us, and hopefully your opinions and beliefs align with ours. And if they don't, then hopefully this is a safe place where you can share those.
If you guys want to throw stuff out and have us cover it, or call us out on stuff, I know I say a lot of dumb stuff, so call me out.
Yeah, I mean, we're idiots, but that's the thing is I assume most of you guys are idiots too. That's what we're all doing, is we're trying to become less of idiots and be more effective men and women. Like that's the whole point, is let's do something. If you're the guy who's sitting here and, like, I'll say me, right, that sits there and goes, man, okay, this year I think this is gonna be the year I lose 30 pounds, I get in shape, and I'm gonna start backpacking, right? And then you find yourself by September eating Twinkies and going, next year. I think this is that call for you is, hey, by simple and little tiny steps, let's get better each day. This is your call to action. And it's not just to join us and like and subscribe just because we want to make something out of this. We all have jobs. This is a lot of work for us. We're doing it because genuinely we want to see a cultural change. That's what we're here for, is to see everyone grow and become something more, and to actually, I mean, I can think of all the guys who sit there and they watch all these like gun YouTubers and go, man, yeah, look how tactical they are. And then I'll see them on Reddit and they're like 300 pounds and their chest carrier's barely going to cover them. And I know this sounds like I'm just bagging on fat people, I'm fat myself, whatever. That's not what I'm getting at. The point is become that person, and
Yeah.
that's what we're here for. We're doing it with you. Is we
Yeah.
want to all grow.
I'm
Let's
here
let's be a
to
better version.
I'm here to do what's best for me and my family, man.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
just want to be a
Yeah,
good
we all
dad.
are.
Yeah, be the best provider, the best dad.
I mean,
Uh,
Austin, he's one up on us. He's got that new heart ready to rock,
yeah,
man.
yeah, he's got the new heart. He's got it rocking. So that's the thing. Like we're again just going back to it. We're very imperfect people, but we are genuinely here to grow with you and learn with you. That's the whole point. Um, and we hope that that inspires you to do the same.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, till next time.
Thanks, gentlemen. This was
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
awesome. We got the first bad one out of the way. Let's do it.
Yeah. Now just 100 more bad ones to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. We love you.